Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jake from Ncaa, and we are now here for the Season 4 preview show. And I usually do one of these each season just to get you guys familiar with the team in the upcoming season and also to get me familiar because we have a ton of departures going into Season 4. So just looking at the preseason polls here in Season 4, Alabama is out on top, and that's no surprise there. Washington actually starts out at number 2, and I think they actually took a hit a little bit because they're now at 95 overall. I'm not sure who exactly they lost. We can look at their roster a little bit, but I believe they were all 99s, and now they jumped down a little bit. You can see the teams behind them. Georgia's all 99s. Notre Dame's pretty much all 99s. Remember, they've moved to the ACC. I'm excited to see them there. Florida, who we play later in the season, they're almost 99 everything. That's going to be a tough game. And there's a bunch of good teams. Even Arkansas is almost 99s. They're 97 overall, 9 on offense. I probably should have looked at scheduling them. I don't think I've ever played Arkansas in any one of my dynasties. So let's just see where we are ranked as we go down these preseason polls. I'm actually surprised we're not ranked higher than this. So we're at 40. So this is about where I thought we wouldn't be. I thought we would be maybe like 5 to 10 places higher. I knew we wouldn't be ranked just because our overall isn't that good. But starting at 77 overall, we haven't jumped too much. We actually got a little worse as far as offense goes. We're now down to a 79. I believe last season we were at an 81, but our defense looks pretty much the same. So looking at our schedule, we went over this during the offseason, but we do play Colorado to open up the season. Then we go and play Baylor at home, and then we play our rival Stanford, which we haven't played since we moved over to the Pac-12. And then our other non-conference games are going to be Mississippi on the road, and then we're also going to play Florida on the road. So those are going to be some tough non-conference games. None of our players are on the Heisman watch. No surprise here, but Salah Hutton is actually going to be a junior this year after running for 2,700 yards last season. I wonder what he's going to do this season. If he tops that, that is just going to be amazing. He didn't win the Heisman last season, so it's going to be pretty cool to see what he does. So let's look at preseason All-Americans. Do we have any? I don't know if we will. I mean, the only ones I can maybe think of is Isaac Tagia. And look, there he is. So he's a preseason All-American after being an All-American last year. And you see he's 80 overall going into his senior season. He's looking to have a big one for the defense. This is a very young defense. We're going to go over the roster a little bit, especially at defensive back. As you see, Terrence Miller is actually second team All-American. And you look at his stats from last year, he actually took a small dip. He went from 10 sacks to 8, but I definitely see him going up this year as the pass rushers around him get better. Michael Cummings, second team All-American. This is a good sign, seeing that, you know, we have a young defense and seeing some All-Americans here and seeing that we're getting some national attention. I'm wondering where we are in toughest places to play. And look, we're ranked number 40. And we actually did lose. We had a big home win streak before, but we actually lost at home. So that snapped it. But look at Alabama. They're on a 23 home winning streak. That's pretty good. Georgia's up there 13. Let's see if there's any teams that we play. Washington's at 7. That's not a lot. And then Florida, who is we play on the road, they're at 7. So maybe we can snap that streak when we play them. So we aren't going to go into recruiting in this episode. I usually do it after week 2 of the season. So that'll be in a few episodes when we have the recruiting highlights with the high school highlights. So I want to look at some of the offensive coordinator and defense coordinator. We have Mark Hagan. He's still not at a level 12 yet. He's at a level 11. You can see his upgrades here. He pretty much has the bottom tier unlocked, almost the bottom 2. And then obviously PJ Fleck, who we hired in the offseason from Minnesota, he comes fully loaded. But look at our skills tree here. I don't like to overpower the game management, and I don't like to overpower the recruiting as well. But really, if I just upgrade the recruiting, and I don't like to give myself a competitive advantage playing in the game, maybe some of this stuff I'm going to upgrade a little bit, but I don't like that the game gives you that type of advantage. But we'll see. So I talked about it a little last year about changing the sliders and changing the penalty sliders, and the penalty sliders really did make a difference down the stretch. I saw realistic gameplay from the computer, a lot better game management as well, and it seemed like they were playing a little better defense. It was harder to score towards the end of the season. And I really looked at some sliders here, and J-Kit sliders were the best by far. These are the penalty sliders. If you want to look, I'd have a link in the description to see what they are. Then we're going to change the normal slider. So this is actually a big change here. You can see QB accuracy at 5. I actually highly suggest it. I had QB accuracy at 5 during Coastal Carolina, and you really had to work for completions. And it makes it really tough on you at first, but once you get used to it, it's just being smart. It's about calling plays that get you in rhythm and getting your guys going. I've never played with pass blocking at 0. I'm actually interested, and wide receiver catching at 0. I think this kind of factors into ratings more or less because, at 50, you're pretty much catching everything, even with sorry receivers. If you change your game plan to conservative catching, you're pretty much going to catch everything, and that's pretty much what I saw last year. I think I had less than 10 drops the whole season last year, and that's just too few. This is not realistic. So I decided to change that up, and a lot of these are from J-Kit sliders. I based a lot of that off of this. I think the one change I did make here is actually, I think this is like pretty much what his sliders are. I think for the CPU, I did make a change here though. I'd put QB accuracy at 5. They're pretty much completing everything as it is on Heisman anyway. So this is just to make it so they have realistic numbers. So QB accuracy at 5, they're still going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to be tough because your pass coverage is lower too. And I actually have it at 40 right now. I'm just going to test that out to see how it is. I actually had it lower, I think, last year. But with the penalty sliders and everything, it's probably going to balance it out. But looking at running back ability, I highly suggest it on 90. 90 is amazing. On any difficulty, 90 is amazing because they run like humans and they run less like, robots do. But looking at everything else, pass coverage at 100 and rush defense at 100, I put that up to 100. I think his base sets are 90, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to play with these sliders and see how much of a challenge it is for me. So let's look at the depth chart. I'm going to periodically just show some of the practice highlights because remember, we are rocking with a new playbook here. We're rocking with Western Michigan's playbook. They're a pro-style offense, so we're going to see a lot more under center, things like that. And you can see when I'm showing these highlights, some of these passes are way off, and that's just me getting used to these sliders. I mean, it's a big difference. You have to adjust to them, and I can't take deep shots or anything as much as I would before. But looking at our depth chart here, Denzel Knox is the #1 running back, and he had a big offseason. He's at 83 trucking now, 77 break tackle. He's got 93 acceleration. I'm looking for him to pretty much take the reins at running back along with Jay Taylor. We're going to run a dual back system. You're going to see a lot of Jay Taylor, a lot of Denzel Knox. And Kasiri Robinson, I'm going to start him at fullback because we don't really have a great fullback, so he's going to even get in situations as well. Looking at receiver, it's pretty much the same. Matt Pollard at the 1, Jay Taylor at the 2. The one change we're making here is Raheem Akusi in the slot. He's a little quicker than Carl Wolf is. Carl Wolf's only 83 acceleration, and that's kind of why I'm playing him there. And we'll see how that goes. Jay Taylor is going to be listed as the 5th wide receiver. So on 5 receiver sets, he's going to be out there. I really like the potential with him with that 97 acceleration in the slot on 5 wide receiver sets. Junior Fioka gets his first start. He's a junior tight end, and we don't have anybody behind him, really. I have Matt Pollard listed as a 2nd tight end. So on 2 tight end sets, we're going to probably have, Raheem Akusi lined up wide at receiver. We'll see. I don't really know. Our offensive line doesn't change much. Noah Ballesteros goes into his sophomore year. He's starting at center now from Kyle Hope. And then Dante Bull at right guard. He had a great year last year. And then Joe Johnson. I mean, I just want to look at his stats from last year. I mean, sacks given up too. I mean, that is just amazing at right tackle. I'm hoping that he has another good season. Terrence Miller and Jamar Hardy is going to start at right end. And I am going to kind of test this out. I don't know. We have a lot of guys here. If you look at it here, we have Luther Bridges, the redshirt freshman who we redshirted last year. He's decent. He's 72 overall. Behind him, Emmanuel Thomas, sophomore redshirt. He was one of our recruits from season 1. He's finally in the backup role. And then Jamar Hardy. You're going to see a lot of rotations. I don't know who's going to get in there, but whoever does prove to be the best is going to start there. I'm actually going to start defensive tackle. I'm actually going to start Neil Bonds. He's a sophomore redshirt, 6'4", 266. And Sherman Kurtz is going to be a sophomore behind him. They're probably going to rotate in quite a bit, and they're probably both going to get some good playing time. Linebackers does not change at all, except at the right outside linebacker. Ali Matau is going to start there. He's a senior, and I do like that senior leadership. James Jackson Jr. is probably going to be in on pass rushing situations. He's a lot better as a pass rusher. You see he's got 83 finesse moves. He's got the same speed. He's got good acceleration at 89, and he's got 82 pursuit. So that's actually pretty good compared to Ali Matau, who's got good tackling. 75 is decent, but he doesn't have any pass rushing moves at 73 finesse moves. Maybe he can do some things with his speed. We'll see. Now, defensive back is the biggest change. Everybody's new. We have all new starters at defensive back, starting with our first cornerback, Andrew Jordan. Now, this guy is really good. I see him really being kind of the anchor of the defense in the secondary because it all goes through him. I mean, he's going to be guarding the top receiver every game, and he's got good ratings right now as a freshman. He's going to probably start all 4 years pending any injury, but I hope he stays healthy. Josh Hemphill is going to start right now on the left side of the field. I really like his potential with his speed. He does have a size deficiency. He's 5'9", 187, but I'm excited to see what he can do on the left side of the field. The guy that's probably going to compete on the left side of the field with him is Parker Gass. Now, Parker Gass is going to be on the field a lot, and you're going to see him in the slot a lot because he is our best tackler at cornerback at 80 tackling. He has good play recognition, 86, awareness at 99. His zone is at 87, so he's really going to play what Trey Webb was playing a lot of that nickel corner deal, and also some safety on certain packages because our safeties are new as well. And I want to highlight one more guy, JoJo Forrest, a freshman cornerback. And he's actually the one freshman we're not going to redshirt because we do need depth there just in case of injury and just packages where we need, 4 or 5 cornerbacks on the field. We'll see. At the safety position, Marcus Daniels. Now, this guy, he's pretty good. I think he's a converted athlete. I remember from season 2, we redshirted him last year. He's a converted athlete. He could have played offense, actually. He has some pretty good offensive skills as well. He can catch the ball, but he's good in coverage, and that's one thing I like about him. He's going to play the deep safety role, kind of just that guy that's hovering back there like Earl Thomas. Not as good as a tackler, but he can at least bring a guy down. I don't know about that 65 tackle rating. We'll have to see, but at least he can cover, and I'm excited for that. And if he can't cover well enough in coverage, or if he can't tackle well enough, I think I'm going to put Parker Gass back there to kind of hide his deficiencies and maybe move him over to strong where he can play more in the box and play kind of a coverage role there. But James Will Smith is going to start at strong safety. I played him in a couple packages last year. He seemed to be getting burnt a little too much. So I have my eye open on what he's going to do. He has good awareness, 99 actually, perfect awareness. But we'll see what he does in his first time starting, and then Parker Gass is going to back him up. Another guy I want to highlight here is Michael Bailey. He is probably our best tackler at safety at 81 tackling, and I'm excited to see him get in. He is a monster at tackling, and he is just a sophomore redshirt. He will have his chances on the field as well. So I'm not going to show you guys who is on our recruiting board just yet, but I want to take a look at the top players in the nation. Look at these guys. I mean, 84 overall, 5-star, #1 prospect. I don't know what exactly his overall is going to be, but look at him. He's going to Alabama. I mean, look at these top guys. It's either Georgia, Alabama in the top 3, Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama. I mean, all these guys, they want to go to Georgia or Alabama. I mean, it's pretty good to see these guys, just continue to build that powerhouse of those two programs. And I'm actually interested in playing them probably next year. We'll see how these sliders go and how good of a season we have. But we do have some interest here in the top 100. You can see they're not on our board yet, But you can see Luke Hunt, he's 75 overall from Anaheim. This actually might be a guy we might want to add here, as he is a 4-star prospect. He's got A speed. I'm not really sure what he does. It looks like he's a defensive back. He's got B man coverage, B zone, and B press. I mean, he looks like a defensive back to me. Looks like, he's an athlete. I'm not sure what other positions he can play there. Maybe a little linebacker. I'm not really sure. But yeah, just looking at these guys, I mean, we have some interesting guys. Eric Barrett is a tight end that's interested in us. We're 4th on his list, but we're not going to go after him. Only top 3 guys here that are interested in our school. But just looking at the rest of these guys, I mean, this is a good recruiting class. You can see there's a lot of good players here. Another defensive end interested, but we're 5th there. We're not going to go after him. But I just want to show you guys, just how these recruits look and how our team looks. So let me know what you guys think of the squad. Who do you think is going to step up this season? So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Season 4 coming up next. Let's get it. Season 4, I'm so excited for. You guys just don't know. And some of you guys made the squad. I'm excited to see a lot of these freshmen. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.